Listen up, hockey fans. You're in the right place. A no-hold-barred debate between two hockey fans. Stay up to date on current issues in the NHL, even the controversial ones. Welcome to The Debate Hockey Podcast with your host, Brad Burud.
Good evening. Welcome to the Debate Hockey Podcast. It is March 1st, 2021. I am the host of the show, Brad Burud, joined alongside my co-host, Blake Friars, and we're back for another week of talking NHL talk, and we are not talking about the Calgary Flames, and we are not talking about the Vancouver Canucks, and Blake's got two favorite team anyways. So
they both suck, so turn the page on both those teams next year, and it's looking like we're both going to have lottery picks.
Blake's already switched teams. He's already a Kraken fan. So.
Yeah, I got to support the lower mainland.
He's already sold out on his Canucks, and he's already bought a rival.
I guess I'll cheer for Braden Holtby next year when he goes there. So
God,
maybe he'll take Tyler Myers.
Braden Holtby will probably have to retire this year after all the rubber he's going to face this year.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see the other night? It was in the Flames Ottawa game. Did you see when Kelly Rudy's button blew off?
Yeah. Oh man, that was so funny. Yeah.
And did you see when
Leslie and Brower are going nuts in the background?
Did you see when then they had it as the play of the game?
Yeah, that was good.
You know what? Could have been a better guy though, because Kelly Rudy just rolls with the punches, and he loves he's
fun guy. He's a fun guy. Yeah.
I just started reading his book. It's really, really good. So. Well, did you also see David Riddick headbutt the wall?
I did.
What is he doing?
So this is the only Flames talk I've never done. So
yeah.
So this guy loses to the Leafs in overtime. I thought this guy was contemplating killing himself. Like, he sounded so depressed. He sounded like he was about to burst into tears.
You know what though? Maybe it's.
I'm like, what is this?
The only Flame
deal?
He's the only Flame that seems to care. Him and Lucic.
Oh, I mean, I didn't watch the game tonight, but how did he play tonight?
He's really good. Really good.
Did he did he get pulled or?
No, he's really good.
He let in all five?
3 goals. Well, he let in 3 goals, and then they pulled the goalie. And they
got two empty netters?
Well, no, the 5th one wasn't an empty netter, but everybody in the team had quit. So,
okay.
But no, it was not Riddick's fault at all.
Yeah, Toronto and Calgary and Montreal are making Ottawa look really good this year. That's all I'm going to say. That's where all their wins are against.
You guys made Montreal look better than they actually are.
Yeah, you say that a little bit.
Yeah. Did you see TJ Oshie's impossible, crazy diving?
Yeah, that was a great goal all around. I mean, just to knock it out of the air, to catch up to it, to poke it with one hand in the net. Special player for sure.
Okay, you're younger than me, so maybe you know what the hell this is. Elliot Friedman touched on it during headlines the other night. And after it was done, I'm like...
The snapshot?
After it was done, I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? What is it? NBA Top Shots. What the
Top Shot. Yeah, so I was reading a little bit on it too. So it's basically like, say like LeBron James had an iconic dunk and you wanted to own that highlight, you can buy it. Like it's like, instead of like you're basically buying that highlight from the NBA, so you can use it. That's basically what they're doing. I mean, I think it's really smart.
Can they still use it? Are you the sole owner?
Well, I don't know how that works. Like, I'll have to do some more research on it because, I mean, if that's a way that the NHL and the players can make more revenue, I think. Because I want to do that.
I want to buy the video of Kelly Rudy's button coming off.
Oh my god. But like, honestly, like, I don't know. Like, the NHL, the next couple of years are gonna have to get creative with opportunities to make some revenue, right? With
so what do you do with this video?
Flat cap? I don't know.
And what do they give you something
I'll have to read into it?
Is it something you play it on, or like? Like at least a baseball card, you have your card.
Yeah.
Like, how do you sell something that's like, oh yeah, well that video on YouTube that I own that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Man, I was hoping you would know. You're supposed to know this shit.
I wasn't anticipating that being asked, so my apologies.
I know. I got another question for you. I have another question. Who's this? Who's this Drake? I can't even think of Bannerston.
Drake Batherson. You don't know who that is?
Well, I do now.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Well, evidently, 8 goals in 8 games or 7 goals in 6 games.
Yeah, he played Team Canada World Juniors twice for Team Canada. So, yeah, I've watched him. I think he played with Ottawa 67s too in the OHL, if I remember correctly. So let me double check. He's going to be a good player, man.
Is going to be a good player. He already is a good player.
No, but I'm saying like he's young, like he's still developing, right? So, let me see here.
Tim Stützle got a little welcome to the NHL tonight.
What happened?
No, he ran Tanev from behind and buried his face into the glass, and then about 20 minutes later, Rasmus Anderson ran Stützle from behind and slammed his face into the glass.
Okay, my apologies. He played for Cape Breton Screaming Eagles, but yeah, he's got 17 points, 24 games. Not a bad start to his NHL career. I mean, this is his third year.
He's got 8 more goals than Pettersson.
Huh? You're full of shit. Pettersson just got his 9th today. Shut up. Well, you're full of shit. Anyways, but I mean, he's 37 points in 68 games in the NHL, so not a bad start for sure.
You're kind of a betting guy, right?
A little bit. I mean, Calgary fucked me on my betting today.
Why in the God's green earth are you?
Because they're playing Ottawa, and that should be a slam dunk.
Well,
like you should not be losing twice to Ottawa in 3 games.
No, if you want to win money on Calgary, bet on them in their next game, because now they're going to have all this hoopla for the next 3 days.
It's dumb. Like let me just look. Let me just look. Because
look at what? Look at how
I'm
much.
gonna look. Yeah. See, I'm winning every single game. Florida lost and Calgary lost. So Florida lost in overtime.
Shame on you for picking Calgary.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you would expect to win that game, but oh well.
Back to my question. Did you know that on moneypuck.com, the Minnesota Wild have the second best odds of winning the Stanley Cup right now?
Yeah, I want whatever weed that guy is inhaling right now, because that's a little crazy.
Unreal. What are these? Did you see? What are these Air Jordan skates? Please tell me this is not real.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I saw a picture of, they're like hockey skates that look like the old Air Jordan shoes.
Like the red ones?
Yeah, going around Twitter.
That's kind of cool.
No, it's not.
So you wouldn't be okay with custom skates?
Absolutely. Well, no, I don't know.
So baseball players, football players, they can have custom cleats, right? Would you be okay with a player having a custom skate?
Well, yeah.
And you wear them like once a year and donate them to charity?
Oh, like those guys are going to do that.
100% they would. What? Huh. What do you mean?
Some of them would.
Really? Some
of them would. So
a lot of players would. You're telling me Sidney Crosby wouldn't donate to charity?
Oh, sure, because he's a straight up great guy. Okay, but here's the deal. What are they going to put on him?
Whatever they want. They can have fans design them. They can. I think it'd be cool to market your players a little bit, show some personality. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, the NHL is just so.
No, they're not.
It's so. They're just nothing. It's just plain sometimes.
Goalies have goalie masks.
Yeah, but like.
What are you talking about?
Even like.
Football players can't paint whatever they want on their helmets.
Even like goalies these days, man. There's just like I wish goalie pads were more colorful. You're seeing a lot of white goalie pads. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's because that's what goalies want, because that creates the image of open holes. That's why they have white pads, Blake, Remember the old study?
Honestly, I'll respectively disagree with that, because if you have more color, that actually shows the shooter more net, because he's focusing on a color.
Bullshit.
I'm being dead. I was a goaltender. What are you talking about?
You weren't good.
Okay, but I'm still saying that's true.
Blake.
If you have say you have.
Hey, listen to me.
Say you have an orange glove, okay, and you're coming down the right wing. The first thing that you're going to look at is that orange glove, okay?
I'm going to say I'm not shooting at the orange glove.
Okay, but that's attractive to shooters. Why do you think players use black tape? Because it's harder to pick up the puck off the stick.
Yeah, that is because the puck's on the stick.
Okay, but the first they're gonna go.
Let me ask you this.
It's a fact.
You remember? No, yeah, I know. And I distinctly read an article. I think it was by Kevin Woodley. Remember when Marc-Andre Fleury had those yellow pads in Pittsburgh?
Yeah,
they made him get rid of them because his pass started to plummet.
You wore him for like 2 years.
No, he didn't wear him for 2 years. He did not. He did not. I can promise you.
Well, he came in 04.
He did not wear him.
05. He wore him in 05, his rookie year. Okay. I think he wore him for 3 years, because he didn't have him when they won the cup in 08.
You go talk. He did not wear him that long. He did not.
He wore him for like 3 years.
No, he didn't.
Pretty sure he stopped wearing him in like 2008.
Blake, he didn't.
All right.
I read the article on it. Plus, if you look at goalies, they want the white because gives the shooter the impression of a hole. So it makes their 5-hole look bigger.
I ain't buying that.
Okay. We're gonna get a goalie. We're gonna get a goalie guy on here, and he can tell you.
Not buying it.
Right.
I am a goalie guy. I'm a goalie guru.
You're the guy that told me that Markstrom was gonna suck because he didn't have the same goalie coach this year.
Oh yeah. Okay. You can't take sarcasm. Nobody said that. I was joking.
Oh my God.
All I said is Ian Clark built him into the goaltender that he was, and that's true. That's the truth. Because when he came over,
you told me that he
came over from Florida. This guy, he was on waivers in 2017. For Christ's sakes,
you told me that when we signed Markstrom, you said, "Well, you didn't get the goalie coach, so it's not going to help."
I didn't say that. I said that. Okay, pull it up. Go back into archives and pull it up.
I will.
Because what I said is that you're not going to like that contract in like year 3 or 4. Because it skyrockets to $8 million.
Oh, the cap hit's the same.
But it doesn't matter. You're still giving him $8 million. Like,
okay, but I guarantee you right now, if Vancouver had it to do over again, they re-sign him.
Well, I think if you pick a player, I mean, you'd probably pick Toffoli.
I mean, right? you keep thinking about Tyler Myers making more money than Markstrom.
And they're making the same, so watch your mouth. What are we talking about on the pod today?
Today on the pod, we're going to talk about red hot surprises, the Minnesota Wild, Los Angeles Kings, Chicago Blackhawks. Those Oilers and Panthers are really surprising some people this year. And we're going to talk about why the Buffalo Sabres are so bad. We'll go around the league and talk about a coach getting fired, Price, Big Tuff Binnington, draft trouble, and is Virtanen ever getting traded? It's all on the show today. A big thanks goes out to our sponsors. Yeah, Manscaped. You got to order one of these things. The Weed Whacker. Blake, you probably need the Weed Whacker. I think you need
for the nose.
I think you need the Weed Whacker, right? They're not expensive at all, man. Get on to manscaped.com. Pick out your stuff, man, whether it's the Lawnmower 3.0 or the Weed Whacker. Get 20% off plus free shipping if you use the promo code DEBATE. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good products.
All right, Blake. Lots to talk about. Let's start it right away with probably, I don't know, arguably, but I don't even know if it's really, you could argue it much, but is Minnesota Wild the hottest team in the National Hockey League?
Right now they are, yep. They won 6 in a row. They're 8-2 at home. And, this offense is not boring anymore. This Kirill Kaprizov is a stud. He's probably going to win Rookie of the Year this year. He's kind of given the Minnesota Wild a swagger that they haven't had in a long time. So
you know what pisses me off about the Minnesota Wild? The freaking games are always blacked out here. I wait 11 hours away, 10 hours away, and it's blacked out. And plus, they can't even sell in tickets.
Yeah, the NHL blackouts are a joke. It's like that in baseball too.
So I struggle to see Minnesota Wild games. I do.
Like it's stupid because the NHL is, we got to grow the game. Fans can't go to the fucking games, and you're still blacking out games.
That doesn't make any
sense. That's a joke.
But anyways, let's get back to the Wild. They are impressive. So winners 7 of their last 10. They're getting good goaltending. They're getting really everything right now.
Yeah, and a guy that is definitely overpaid, a guy like Matt Zuccarello, has come in and sparked that offense. He has 11 points in 7 games. He has points in 6 straight games. Did you see that pass he made to Dumba last night in overtime? Mm-hmm. Beautiful goal. Beat the buzzer. Kaapo Kähkönen, 8-4, 2.4 goals against, 915 save. Then you got Cam Talbot, 4-2 with a 2.19 goals against, 926 save percentage. So they're getting good goaltending. Were you going to ask me if Zuccarello's production is sustainable? I'm going to say probably not, because he's well over a point per game. So you're going to see a little bit of a fall off. But I mean, last year I think he had 40 plus points in 67 games. So I mean, he's still a respectable player. His cap hit at $6 million for the next 4 years is a little too high, in my opinion. But I mean,
is this Minnesota Wild success sustainable?
I don't know, but
boy, they're good. They look good too.
It's hard to say. The fact that they're doing this with no production from Parise or Kevin Fiala. Well, I shouldn't say no production from Fiala. He hasn't been.
Parise's been good.
He's not putting up points though.
No, but that's not what Parise's ever really done though.
Parise, okay, you paid him to score you goals.
Yes, it was not a good signing.
Not a good signing at all. Okay, but Fiala needs to be scoring goals. I mean,
absolutely.
So I think he's got 11 points in 17 games this year.
Isn't he like the most streaky guy in the league though?
He is streaky.
He'll score 7 in a row. Like, you know,
when he's on, boy, there's not much better in the league than Fiala when he's cooking. He's a difference maker for sure. So, the guy they brought in, Nick Bjugstad, hasn't really done much. Benino hasn't done much. So I mean, the Wild had all those COVID issues, right? And now they're finally getting all their guys back and kind of hitting stride. So it'll be interesting to see where this team goes. But they're, like we said before the season, this is probably one of the worst divisions in hockey. Right? I mean, San Jose, Arizona, and Anaheim are all bad.
There's 5 good teams right now, though. I like what LA is doing, and let's talk about them next. I mean, they're winners of 6 of their last 10 and points in 8 of the last 10. And I like 5 teams in this division. I really like LA, Colorado, St. Louis, Minnesota, and Vegas. And St. Louis really isn't playing very good. But
yeah, I picked LA to finish 3rd in that division this year. I picked them to make the playoffs. So it'll definitely be a battle between Minnesota and LA for that final spot, I think. Or no, it's top 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if they'll both make it. Thinking about it now.
It'd be pretty tough
St. Louis, if there's a team that if Minnesota and the Kings both make it, I think St. Louis is on the outside looking in. If I had to take that guess, because Colorado and Vegas are up at the top. But
Tarasenko's coming back now.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what he can do. I mean,
one guy.
He came back from that from that injury in last year's playoffs, and he didn't look the same. He was a non-factor, and he was shut down again. So I mean, this is his third shoulder surgery too. So that's a little concerning. If I was the St. Louis Blues, I mean that's your guy, right? And he hasn't been able to stay healthy the last few years.
Yeah, you look at the Los Angeles Kings, and you compare them to Minnesota, and they're getting everything Minnesota's getting. They're getting good goaltending. They're getting consistent play from their forwards and defense, and I like this team. I like the Kings. Some of their young talent is fun to watch, and they work hard.
The thing about the Kings is, Brad, their young talent hasn't even scratched the surface. We haven't even seen Quentin Byfield yet. Gabe Velarde is showing that. I mean, he could be a stud. Like, he is a good player. A guy like he's also battled injuries like the last couple of years. He's finally healthy. The biggest surprise for me is Dustin Brown turning back that clock. He's 11 goals, 17 points in 20 games. Every time I watch a Kings game, it seems like he's got a couple points every game. So they're getting some production from an unlikely hero, Doughty, having a bounce back season. Last year, you only had 5 goals or 7 goals. He's already got 5 this year.
Can I cut you off for a second, though? You know what I heard? I heard that he admitted that it was a critical year because he's trying to make the Olympic team. By saying that, doesn't that almost just say, well, on another year, who gives a shit about the King?
He's being honest.
That's horrible, though.
I don't.
Horrible.
Okay, so that's every player's dream. You want to play for the Olympic team, okay?
So you play hard.
So you're telling me if it was an Olympic year and you're coming into the season, that wouldn't motivate you, especially since everybody called you trash and said Doughty is on the wrong side of 30 and he's washed up. Doughty is a good defenseman still, dude.
How about the Stanley Cup? Shouldn't that motivate you? Because that's what you're getting paid to win.
Okay, but the Kings aren't. The Kings aren't a Stanley Cup contender, Brad.
You think? Well, I can tell you a lot of teams, they weren't a Stanley Cup contender the year they won it the first year.
Okay, but
they weren't, Blake. I'm telling you right now, do you think Sidney Crosby went to the first day of practice this year and was like, yeah, I'm going to really have to pull it together this year?
Because he's a lock to make it, so it doesn't matter. Doughty's not a lock to make it, so he has to perform, no?
It's a chicken shit unprofessional move.
I don't think so. I mean, Doughty's still a good defenseman. I mean, he's got 17 points, 20 games, third in his team in scoring. I know you don't like Doughty because of the Kachuk shit, but I mean,
has nothing to do with the Kachuk.
He's still a respectable defenseman in this league.
Of all the NHL players I've met, there's 3 of them that I didn't have any respect for after meeting him in person, and he is one of them. Next thing.
What else can we talk about? Kopitar had been good, 23 points, 20 games. And Cal Peterson, he's
been good.
He's been good. I mean, the win he's lost 6 of his 10 starts, but
it's not a bad 1-2 punch, is it?
No, it's not. And Quick's been really good. The last couple games he struggled, but before that, he had a goals against in the 2-2s. And it skyrocketed to 2-8 the last couple starts. He got pulled in one start against Minnesota, but Quick. He's got 1 more year left on his deal after this year. So it'll be interesting to see what LA does with that.
Let's jump up to the Central Division. And I don't think anybody would have ever thought that almost a third of the way through the season, we would sit and go, Florida's on top and Chicago's in 4th. We'd have been like, oh, what?
Yeah. Who do you want to start with first? Chicago?
Yeah, let's go with it.
They're 12, 7 and 4. They won 7 of their last 10 games. Yeah. Patrick Kane just scored his 400th goal in his career. He's kind of putting that team on his back, 34 points in 23 games. And
they're getting offense.
They're getting scoring. Like that Kurashev's been good. DeBrincat's been good. Kubalik, who was finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting last year, he's been solid again. They're getting some production from a guy like Duncan Keith, and they're getting really good goaltending. Who the hell is Kevin Lankinen?
Who's Pius Suter?
Who the hell is Kevin Lankinen, though? This guy's 9-3-3 with a 2.55 goals against and a 9.24 save percentage. This guy came out of left field.
I thought the goal was coming to end when Malcolm Subban had a shutout.
Yeah. Yeah, we all know how good he is. But, yeah, Kevin Lankinen, you know, we talked about in the preview before the season started, who's gonna stop pucks for the Blackhawks with Corey Crawford out, right? That's been their guy for the last decade. Nobody saw this coming. And when the season started, it was announced that Jonathan Toews wasn't going to start the season with the team. That's their heart and soul guy. I mean, Captain Serious, that he stirs the drink, right? He's the straw. Everything goes when he goes, right? And the fact that they're doing this without Jonathan Toews is miraculous. And it just shows you how good Patrick Kane is. I mean, boy, just think. This decade is going to be so heartbreaking for hockey fans. Like after this decade, like Crosby, Ovechkin, Patrick Kane, these guys are all going to retire.
Well, it happens every decade.
It's crazy, man. Like just to think about
Coffey retired, Ray Bourque retired.
Yeah, I know, but it hits really hard. It hits really hard when you grow up watching these players, and that's why you fall in love with the game of hockey. And when those guys retire, it's like, damn, like, does it really have to end like that? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it has to end like that because they're old. I had to watch Ray Bourque.
I wish athletes could play forever, man. Sometimes.
Oh my God, yeah. Tyler Myers forever. You want him forever?
Tyler 50. Yeah, I heard he's going to Calgary for Lucic.
Yeah, well, Lucic is the leading scorer. Lucic has more goals than Nathan McKinnon this year. That's no shit. He does. He does.
We're not talking about Calgary, so let's. Are we done with Chicago?
Yeah, let's talk Florida.
Florida's been.
I love this Florida Panthers team.
You told me 2 weeks ago that they weren't going to sustain that success.
What?
I asked you. I said, is Florida going to be able to sustain this hot start?
Like 8 out of 10. No one's going to sustain 8 out of 10.
Well, you said they wouldn't be able to sustain that success.
I don't know.
Here they are 13. Here they are 13-4-4, right? They just lost in overtime today to Carolina, but
I'm pretty sure I had Florida making the playoffs and you didn't. So,
well, I mean,
fuck on that one.
Oh yeah, fuck. But Barkov and Huberdeau, unbelievable 1-2 punch, right? I mean,
I also predicted Huberdeau, didn't I?
To win the Ross, and it's not going to happen.
Well, you don't know.
Not going to happen. But I mean, you look at what they're doing this year. They have 16 goals, 29 assists combined. They're doing most of the damage. And a guy like Hornquist, too. He came over from Pittsburgh in that trade. Nobody was really expecting much from him. Here he is, 18 points in 18 games. So
Carter Verhaeghe.
Yeah, that's another guy they got from Tampa Bay.
15 points in 21 games.
What about Keith Yandel? 13 points, 20 games. This guy was talked about being a healthy scratch. His Ironman streak was going to end, yada, yada, yada. Here he comes into the season. He scored, I think, in their first game played. He's been rock solid back there on that back end for him.
Blake, look at this, though. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 players with 10 points or more.
Yep, now they're getting depth from up and down the lineup.
And goaltending's been unreal.
It scares me though how much they go to Drieger.
They have to. He's 7-2. He's got a .926 save percentage. How do you not?
It's crazy. I think Montreal's gonna have to start doing something similar to it. Prices and figure shit out.
Hey, Drieger's a free agent.
It's the same thing because Jake Allen's getting paid what, $3 million. Drieger's getting paid not much, and Bobrovsky and Price are both making 10.5, and they're both getting outperformed by their backups. So, if I was a Panthers fan, that would be a little concerning. So,
sure.
But if I had to pick a guy between Price and Bobrovsky to find the game, I'd take Price.
Oh, big shocker!
I put my money on Price.
We've never heard that before, Blake. Blake on his breaking news, Carey Price fan club.
Yeah.
By the way, we're talking about him later in the show.
The fact that people call that guy washed is so laughable.
Wait, we're talking about it later in the show.
Oh my god!
Back to the Florida Panthers here. I know you got sidetracked with your Carey Price whack-off sessions, so let's get back on track.
They've been like they're 6-1-1 on the road. They're kind of road warriors, right?
They are 6-1-1, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, did they?
Can I ask you a question? This is a slightly off topic, but it's something I got to get your opinion on, okay?
Sure.
So these teams are taking these road trips, right? Calgary's played 14 of their last 18 on the road. And I hear, well, this team's tired. This team's tired. They've been a long road trip. And I sat and thought about it, and I thought, is that the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard? Think about this, Blake. The Calgary fans, I'm just using them as an example. Every team has been faced with this year, has been sitting in Ottawa since last Wednesday. They played 3 games since last Wednesday in Ottawa. These guys can't go to the nightclubs. They can't go do anything. They go from the rink to their hotel room and back to the rink. These guys should be so well rested for a game that they should be more rested than they would be at home when they're actually allowed to go to their house. Yeah. So how and why are we? And there's not flying between games. It's not like they have a game in Vancouver, a game in San Jose, then a game in LA. They're not moving. They're in the freaking one city for almost a week, for 3 or 4. It's they're there for 5 days, 3 games. And how in the God's green earth are you tired? You can sleep for 24 freaking straight hours the next day. Yeah. How? I don't understand why this is an excuse this year.
Yeah, I think it's just that. I think the players they're just like, obviously every team has to deal with that, but
I think it's a fucking excuse is what I think.
It's definitely not a routine a lot of players are used to, though. You know what I'm saying?
It's an excuse. So next year we're going to hear, well, they're really tired now because they actually had to travel.
I don't know.
God, I don't want to hear.
There is okay. I will say this though. I get you're in the same venue, right? But there is a lot more 3 games of 4 nights than there ever has been. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Yes or no?
Let me ask you this.
Yes or no?
Okay, let me ask you this question. Would you rather have 3 and 4? Most of the time it's 3 and 5. Very, very seldom it's 3 and 4. Most of the time it's 3 and 5. Would you rather have 3 and 5 all in one city? Or would you rather have 3 and 6 in 3 different cities?
I'd have 3 and 6.
In 3 different cities. Yes. So you're flying in the middle of the night. Tell me how that makes sense, Blake.
Because it's a routine that players are used to.
Oh my God. Like they haven't done it for a calendar year.
I understand that, but I mean that's the way that these players have been operating for the last.
So you're going to tell
last 10 years.
Let me put it in perspective here. So you're going to tell me, Blake, that if you get a new job next week and it requires you to be there at 5 a.m., you're going to struggle for a week or 2 weeks. But you're going to tell me next March you're going to be like, Jesus, Brad, I'm still struggling with this 5 a.m. shit.
It's
5 days.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, okay, that's what I'm saying. Though you will develop a routine, correct?
They haven't had this old routine for 365 days, Blake. This is the new routine. Why are you tired when you have 2 hours worth of work in 2 days? I
never said that though.
I'm so sick and tired of these professional athletes saying this is such a hard travel. Bullshit. Yeah. Bullshit.
Yeah.
This year is easier than any other year of your entire freaking life. No one should be tired.
Yeah.
It's an excuse shitty teams use.
Well, okay. Since you're on your high horse, you want to talk about the Buffalo Sabres?
Yeah, this is about another shitty team, man. This team. God. I don't know. What would you do if you were a Buffalo Sabres fan? Like I feel so bad for them. And you know why? Because I think they're probably the best hockey market in the U.S. Ooh. They have the highest television ratings of any U.S. market. This is a good hockey market. They love this team, and this team sucks.
So
Team sucked forever.
what I would do if I was a Sabres fan, I'd just probably pick a new team. No, no, I'm just joking. But the thing about the Sabres is everybody knew, every single hockey fan knew going into this offseason was, what do the Sabres need? They needed a goalie.
Their goalie hasn't been the problem, Blake.
Yeah, they have.
Has not been a problem at all.
Okay, but Carter Hutton's 1-6.
You want to know the problem?
Carter Hutton is 1-6.
He fucking sucks, Blake.
Okay. So you're telling. Okay, let me ask you this: Is Linus Ullmark, Jonas Johansson, or Carter Hutton a starting goalie? No. The answer is no.
No. Okay. So then let me ask you this question. Then let me just hit the button here.
Why not? Why not instead? Hold on. Why not?
Lehkonen and Malcolm Subban starting goalies.
Okay, they're in a bad division.
Oh my God.
They are. It's a small sample size. It's 12 starts.
Buffalo couldn't win in the professional hockey women's league right now.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
So you're telling me if you were the Buffalo Sabres and you had an opportunity to give $9 million to Jacob Markstrom instead of Jeff Skinner, would you do it?
Okay, let me preface this to you. If after a 40-goal season, they wouldn't have given Jeff Skinner the money. Now, yes, it's probably more than they should have, but it's hard to get people to play in Buffalo. If they wouldn't have given,
I said that
burned
last
the
year.
Place down.
I said that last year. They had to overpay Skinner for him to stay.
Let me throw this off to you, Blake. You're blaming the goaltenders, and this is going to show.
I'm not blaming the goaltenders, but I'm saying that that was a hole in a goaltending UFA market last year that they did not do anything. They didn't do anything.
So let me ask you this: this roster that they put on, yes,
okay, it's not good. I understand.
No, it's good. Listen to this. This is the roster they put against Philadelphia this weekend. Hall, first overall pick. Eichel, second overall pick. Dahlin, first overall pick.
That doesn't mean anything.
Second overall pick. Stahl, second overall pick. Skinner, seventh. Okposo, seventh. Ristolainen, eighth. Middleset, eighth. Lazar, 17th. Sheehan, 21st. That's 12 first-round picks. 9 of them in the top 8.
That doesn't mean anything. Eric Stahl was drafted before I was even born, for fuck's sakes.
I don't care. These are good hockey players.
Okay. Dude. Everybody in NHL is a good hockey player. It's the best league in the damn world.
Okay, well then how come it matters?
What I'm saying is, don't you think it's a problem when Jack Eichel comes out and says, I was injured in New Jersey and not warm up, and this is not a new development, and your head coach says he was hurt in warm up, this isn't a new development? Like that shows to me that your captain and your coach aren't even on the same page.
Yeah, no, I think it's a problem. I can name off a bunch of other problems.
Taylor Hall has 1 goal in 19 games. You're giving this guy $8 million. Jeff Skinner, giving him $9 million. This guy's been a healthy scratch.
That's okay. So how is Jeff Skinner going to get any better? How is he going to do something if he's
I saw what he said. You don't get that.
Then they put him back onto the fourth line. I'm like, oh, there. If I was him, I'd give him the big middle finger and say, you know what? If I was him, I'd be like, fine, I'll just collect my $9 million then. If you don't want me to play, that's fine. I'll sit up here with you.
So
I'll sit up here with you.
How much more time can you wait for Middlestad?
Okay. So what is the problem, Blake? Let's get to what is the problem.
The problem is
I'm calling it no way on that. What is the problem?
They need a starting goalie, and the problem is their players that they're paying to produce aren't producing. That's a problem. Taylor Hall still has 12 points in 19 games. Like he's still putting up assists, but I mean Reinhardt's been good, Olofsson's been good, Eichel's been good, but I mean Jeff Skinner. I mean, this guy's got 1 point in 17 games. You're paying this guy $9
He
million.
couldn't be playing 17 games because he's a healthy scratch 3. So.
Oh, sorry. He has 16 games. So, like, but middle stat though, like this guy's the 8th overall pick in 2017.
None of that matters. Like what?
Dude,
what do you do if you're Buffalo?
He had 25 points in 2018, 9 points in 19. He has 3 points this year in 7 games.
So what do you do?
What do? You go into the off season. Let's go on our fancy website here, Cap Friendly, and let's look at the outlook of the Sabres coming up here. Okay. So both of their goaltenders are free agents. Okay, one's an RFA, Allmark's RFA, and Hutton is a UFA. Okay, you're definitely gonna have to upgrade there. Okay,
don't have the money
like that. What do you mean they don't have the money? Okay, you have $34 million in cap space. Okay, you have to re-sign. Are you bringing back Jake McCabe? I'm probably not. Let's see. Brandon Montour is a UFA. You got to pay Darlene. You got to pay Henry Jokiharju. Toby Reeder won't cost much. Riley Shane won't cost much. You're going to bring back Eric Stahl. I don't know. You'll re-sign Ryan Hart.
If you bring back Eric Stahl, you got to be dumber than dumb.
And what are you going to do with Taylor Hall? Because if I'm Taylor
Let
Hall, I'm not coming back. You take Taylor Hall. You take Taylor Hall's money. You know what I would do? You know what I would do if I was the Buffalo Sabres, Brad? I would take Taylor Hall's money. You know what I would do with it? I would go right up to Frederik Andersen's agent and offer him $8 million. First move I would make, because there is no shot in hell the Leafs can afford Frederik Andersen at $8 million. I think I'd even offer him $9 million.
Well, you wouldn't have to, because at 8, I think you'd get him.
I think you get him for $8 million. You might even be able to get him for $7 million.
I think so.
So, in my opinion, that's a move I would make, because Andersen is known to put up good stats in front of a poor defense in Toronto. I think he would stabilize. Poor English there, so pardon me. He would stabilize that goaltending, right? It would calm down the defense a little bit, and you use the rest of that money to piece together a team. You have to get a guy like Andersen in there. That would be my main target. You go and get Freddie Andersen, and I think it changes the whole outlook of that team.
Is it time for Eichel to go?
I don't know. We talked about this last week for a listener question, didn't we?
2 weeks ago, I think.
2 weeks ago. So
I don't know. It just keeps coming back, and I got a feeling he wants out. I don't know that, but I mean, could you imagine? What would you get in return for him? Because if they call
in a flat cap world, $10 million cap hit, you're not going to get full value for him. You're not. So, I mean, a team like Colorado could afford him. I mean, if I was trading him to a team, I'd probably take Colorado.
Okay, we're just going to use Vancouver as an example.
To get Eichel?
If Buffalo called, who would you tell them they couldn't have?
Well, Louis Eriksson's going the other way. To balance salary, first of all.
I mean, seriously, like
who's out of the young core?
As if they called Calgary, no.
I'd put Besser in a package.
They'd want more than Besser.
No, it would be Besser first. It'd probably be Besser 2 first and a couple prospects.
If they called on Matthew Tkachuk right now and said, "Let's do it."
See, I don't know if I would do that.
Yeah, I would.
I don't know.
Eichel's put up points every year.
Okay, listen though. Listen. Eichel don't play at that edge Tkachuk plays with. And you need that for the playoffs.
Oh yeah, it's really worked.
Okay, but
he hasn't been garbage in the playoffs.
But he's the only guy that does it though.
He hasn't done anything in the playoffs for us. I don't know. I'm starting to fall off the Matthew Tkachuk wagon. I think he's a highly overrated player.
Oh, you are so full of shit.
Okay, tell me what he does.
He does everything.
Oh, really?
I would love to have Matthew Tkachuk on my team. I'd take him in a heartbeat, especially for $7 million.
At what expense?
Sign me up.
Who do you give off your team?
I'd do Besser straight up for him.
Yeah, good one.
Besser in a second and a prospect? I don't know.
No. It would have to be like, it'd have to be better than Besser. Because Eichel's twice the player Besser is.
I literally just said, oh, we're talking about Eichel or Kachuk?
No, I said Kachuk. I'm using Eichel as an example.
Well, let's just put this out there. I don't think Eichel's getting traded. First of all, I don't see it happening.
I don't know about that. I originally said that too, Blake. I did. I said that, but the more I'm starting to.
If I was going to trade him, I'd call Colorado and I would ask for Bowen Byram or Samuel Girard or Connor Timmins or.
They're not even comparable to Eichel.
Okay.
You have to get Cale Makar.
No shot in hell you're doing that. What about would you do Mikko Rantanen?
I would if I was Colorado. I wouldn't if I was Buffalo.
Mikko Rantanen's a good player.
Not Jack Eichel good.
Who else would you trade for him from Colorado? I mean, I would try to get one of those top prospects. I would get one of those top prospects. Okay, what does that do for Buffalo though? Like, what does Cale Makar for Eichel do for Buffalo? Their problem is scoring goals.
Yeah, but they also have a problem of letting goals in. You looked at their defense?
Okay, so you bring in Freddie Anderson to help out with that. You don't go out and get Cale Makar.
Every team would love a Cale Makar.
Sure, 100%.
He's going in 3 years. He's going to be the best defenseman in this league.
But the Buffalo Sabres have trouble keeping the puck on the net, but they struggle scoring goals, man. They struggle scoring goals big time.
Yeah, but good defense makes goals.
Yeah,
like it does.
Yeah.
You ready to go around the league?
Let's go.
Inside Edge Hockey News, faking the slapper and going top shelf.
Montreal Canadiens fire Claude Julien. Were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised. It's a team that had a lot of high expectations, and you just saw that this team was spiraling out of control, and the lineup combinations that he was showing out there, it just seemed like he lost the room a little bit. I mean, he's been there for 5 years now. In a shortened season, you can start to see the playoff picture spiral out of control and get out of that picture. So, I mean, Bergevin's ass is definitely in the hot seat now because he's the next to go if shit continues to hit the fan.
I was surprised, and here's why I was surprised. When I look at a coaching change, I always look at it as, okay, what do I have now, and what am I hiring?
Well, I
don't think there's a person in the hockey world right now that thinks that Dominic Deschamps or however you pronounce it, is a better coach than Claude Julien.
Okay, I agree with that, but in a shortened season, I don't think you could bring in a new coach and completely get a new system in there in place. And I think that would be a little rush
reaction.
It is a knee-jerk reaction for sure.
And I'll go as far as saying that they don't make the playoffs now.
I like the addition of Alex Burrows. I think he's a very smart-minded coach.
Yeah. Tons of experience.
Well, he doesn't have experience, no, but I agree. He was a very smart hockey player. I mean,
sure
you don't play with the Sedin twins for 10 years if you're not a smart hockey player.
I'm just saying that.
I mean, he's been the assistant coach for 3 years in Laval, so
I'm not knocking him. Like he's gonna. What's he gonna do anyways? Like
he's in charge of their power play. And
it's gonna be really hard to make that better because they don't have a lot of upfront talent to make it better. They're relying on some young players that, I mean, how much can you expect out of them? You know, I don't know. I felt like this is really knee jerk.
Yeah.
And this will roll over into our next thing. It seems like it's every year thing of Carey Price having 15, 20 game stretches where he can't stop anything.
Yeah, it's
a third year in a row, Blake.
Yeah, he's a guy who's 34 now. I still think he's a top goalie in the league. Obviously, he's not stopping the puck right now, and that's a problem if you're a Habs fan and if you're part of that Habs ownership. But at the end of the day, to the people going, "Oh, start Jake Allen, make him the starter."
You have to.
In a shortened season,
you
need wins. But I'll say this.
Oh, I know.
Listen. The way that Montreal has been playing in front of him the last 10 games is atrocious.
Because they're not very good, Blake.
They're just the structure that they were playing with in the first 10 games compared to the last 10 has been completely, totally 180 difference.
You know why? Because the first 10 of the games of the year, everybody in this league was sloppy because we didn't have any preseason. And then
they got off to a hot start. I mean, if you take their wins away that they got against Vancouver, this is a horrible team.
I know.
I
know.
I don't know, man.
This team,
I still think they make the playoffs.
No,
because Calgary, Vancouver,
sadly,
Ottawa have no chance of making it.
Sadly.
So you're telling me? Hold on. You're telling me Vancouver, Calgary are making the playoffs?
I think Vancouver's going to make the playoffs.
You're full of shit. You are full of shit today. You're full of shit.
I'll go as far as saying either Ottawa or
I want you to clip this and put it on Instagram tomorrow.
I will.
I want you to clip it. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Does not make the playoffs after this coaching move. Because Vancouver's a better team.
Do you understand how much of a point pace the Canucks have to play at to make the playoffs?
I heard it this morning. It's out of control.
It's like 102 points.
It's out of control.
They're not making the playoffs. We're finishing probably in the bottom 5 of the league. Unless they get their head of their ass major and win like 10 of their next 13 games.
I'm telling you, Blake.
It's not happening.
Montreal is going to fall, and that is going to open the door for a crummy team. And it's either going to be Ottawa, Calgary, or Vancouver. And I think it's going to be.
Well, yeah, no shit. Knock on knock. That's the only 3 teams you could choose from.
Yep.
It's not happening.
Yep.
The playoff teams are Toronto, Montreal, Winnipeg, and Edmonton. Those are locked. They're literally locked and set in stone. All that's going to change is 2 to 3. Toronto's going to win a division, and you might see some changes in 2 to 4. That's it. It's very simple, Brad. It's very simple.
Your other goaltending buddy, Jordan Binnington, gets pulled in the Sharks game the other night. And as he's going off, he chirps the bench or gets chirped, and he pushes one of the players. And he goes and does a little fake punch on Carlson. And then he thinks he's
my buddy. What are you talking about?
Oh, you like him? I thought you said he's
not my buddy.
No, he's a guy we both said wouldn't finish the
overrated
as the starting goalie. But anyways, so he's going down in front of Dubnyk, and he gives Dubnyk the old push and fight.
Oh fuck! I wish Dubnyk would have just laid on him. Fuck, he's 6'6". He would have absolutely lit that guy up. I'm thinking, what the hell is this guy doing? Fake punching Carlson and dude, you just got pulled. Kind of weird to get pulled in a 4-3 game, no?
Kind of, yes.
I'm looking, I'm like, oh, the score must be 5-1. I look up, it's 4-3. I'm like, what the hell? Am I missing something here? Were they up 3-0 and he let him 4 straight or something?
I didn't see the goals.
Let me look.
We're not going to watch all 4 of the goals.
No. I'm going to look if they scored 4 straight goals.
I don't know.
Because that just didn't make sense to me.
But what do you think his teammates were thinking when he was getting all? I'm like, what is he doing? I was waiting for Dubnyk to just be like, "All right, buddy, you think you're going to be tough here? I'm going to knock you on your can." I couldn't believe it. I thought it was stupid.
Okay, so the Blues ended up winning 7-6. What a wild game.
Yeah.
Okay, Binnington. Let me see here. So it was 2-1 Sharks, and then it was 2-2, 3-2 Sharks, 3-3, 4-3. Okay, so like that doesn't make sense. It's back and forth. Let's go look at the box score. Binnington, 4 goals and 19 shots. I mean, not a good night, but I wouldn't think you would get pulled in a 4-3 game. Like I understand why he was so pissed, but what he did after that, not cool, dude. Not cool.
No. 2 quick things to wrap up the around the league. Let's talk draft controversy. Some teams want this draft delayed, and I get it and I understand it, but I also don't understand like the NHLPA is not going to go for that. And the second thing is, like, aren't we all on the level playing field here? They're not playing for anybody, so like it'll just be more of a crapshoot at the draft this year. Like, it's not ideal, but isn't it kind of the way things have been all year?
Yeah. Are they going to have like a showcase? Well, I mean, the WHL is starting, so they're not going to play much games.
No, but you get to see something though, right? I mean, college hockey's going, and
they're playing 24. WHL is playing 24 each.
USHL's playing. Like,
there is some scouting, but I mean, I don't. It's hard to say. I don't think it'll get pushed back.
Overseas is all playing. I'm sorry. The only place that's not playing hockey is Canada.
Yeah.
So one final thing before we get on to 3 questions, but the Canucks have wanted to and have been trying to trade Virtanen since before the Fred Flintstone took over and moved to Bedrock. And what's going to happen? Like, we heard rumors this weekend that Anaheim and them were going to have a deal, and Canucks Twitter had them traded like 6 or 7 times over the weekend.
Did you see the shit on Twitter?
I've seen some.
So listen to this. It was reported that the deal was like held up because the Canucks would not retain $800,000 on Virtanen's salary for next year. Okay.
What did the
listen? This is where the story gets good. Okay, dude. Canucks Twitter. Guess what these psychopaths did? They started a GoFundMe page, and like there's like $500,000 donated.
I told you this was going to
happen. What the hell?
Last episode.
That is so savage. That is so. I do not know a fan base that would do something like that. It's just so savage. So I made a tweet last night. You know, some late night thoughts.
Another one of your "I'm never going to watch the Canucks again" tweet.
They played good today. They won 4-0. But
yeah, so it's all good in Vancouver.
I made a tweet. Let me pull it up here.
I told you they're making the playoffs.
I said, let me see here. So let me get this straight. The Canucks let Tyler Toffoli walk for $4.2 million. Instead of buying out Sutter and moving on from Jake, now are trying to get Danton Heinen for Jake. What a disaster this team is. Please fire Jim Benning. Like this, dude.
What do you think you're going to get for Virtanen?
A bag of pucks. That's all I want for him. Get him off the fucking team.
Then what are you upset about getting Danton Heinen for?
It's not even the fact of that. It's the fact that they could have Tyler Toffoli right now if they just didn't qualify for Tannen. It's simple.
I know. I told you.
Dumb.
I told you.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Take some blood pressure medicine. We're going to be back in 2 seconds with 3 questions.
It's one all, one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
It's time for 3 questions.
All right, time for my favorite part of the show. Is it 3 questions time? It's my turn this week to fire 3 questions off at Blake, and he will return the favor next week with 3 questions at me. Blake, are you ready for number 1?
Let's go.
Who will be the next coach fired?
John Tortorella.
I was thinking maybe that would be your answer. Not Jeff Ward.
Oh, fuck.
He might be fired as I am on the phone because you know what? I'm not going to lie. My Twitter's been
Oh,
going,
man.
my Twitter's going
If
crazy.
they
right-
would have got swept by Ottawa, he would have said he would have got fired.
So one game made the difference.
Might have bought him a week.
All right. Question number 2. So far, yes, I know it's early, so don't freak out. Who's winning the Laine Dubois trade thus far?
I'd say Columbus, because Laine's produced more than Laine's produced more than Dubois.
Dubois hardly been able to play.
Yeah, I know, but
Well, when he has played, he's been
who's gonna win in the long run? Dubois was a ghost tonight against Vancouver. Didn't even notice him up there. Like, he's on the first line with Scheifele and Wheeler. I think touched the puck like 4 times.
Yeah,
I didn't even hear his name all game. So
I
think in the long run, the Jets will win that move if Dubois stays there.
Yeah, which
I don't think Laine is going to stay in Columbus.
I don't either.
Well, unless maybe if Torts got fired, he might.
What's wrong with Torts?
I don't know.
Do these players not want to win?
The thing is with Torts, though, I mean,
he wins.
You look at it. You look at his history of coaching.
He wins.
He's been there for what, 5 years?
Yeah,
that's about how many times he's been in every single city other than Vancouver.
But he wins.
He was at Vancouver for 1. He's been in Columbus for 4 or 5. He was in the Rangers for 5 years. Eventually, you just gotta move on, right? Get a new voice in there, right?
Sure.
But what? No.
No, I'm pro Tortorella. I like it.
I like Tortorella too.
I think that
at the end of the day,
players in this league are getting soft.
The whole league is soft.
Question number 3. What Kachuk is better, Matthew or Brady?
I don't know. Probably Matthew. Like,
I disagree, but I like Brady. Brady's more complete.
I mean, like, I think Brady is more of a pest.
Oh, and he's bigger, stronger, and faster. Matthews.
I don't know if he's stronger.
Oh,
I think if they fought, I think if they fought, I think Matthew would beat the wheels off.
No.
Yes.
Even Matthew says that Brady's bigger, stronger.
I don't know who's a better player though. I think Matthew.
Brady.
I think Matthew's a better player.
Listener question: assuming you could travel in time to experience one hockey game in person, what would be the ultimate game you'd choose? I wrote down 3 of them. Oh, I know where we're gonna go.
I would say probably Sidney Crosby's first game back from a concussion, where he had 5 points. First game in like a year. That'd be a cool game to go to.
Okay.
Hold on. It's a hard question.
You
should have asked me this before the pod so I can think about it.
Well, you want to hear mine first, and then you can think.
Honestly, I wish I was alive for that Pava Burry goal against Calgary.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
Triple overtime in 1994.
God,
that would have been nuts. Did I ever tell you the story?
You weren't even born. What are you talking about?
My dad was at that game. This fucker was in the pisser when Burry scored. Oh man, what a guy! Oh, he told me that story. I was like, "You're an idiot."
I wrote down 3. I would like to go back to this is an obvious one. The Miracle on Ice game would be amazing to be at.
Yeah,
that.
Yep.
I don't care where you're from. That would be an amazing game.
That movie gives me chills.
I wrote down, and this is a game I was actually at, and that's the 05 World Juniors when Canada beat Russia. Yep. Crosby versus OV in Grand Forks, North Dakota. That game was unreal. And then I wrote down, obviously, I'd like to be at the 89 Calgary Flames Stanley Cup winner. A good game.
I think game 2 of the Canucks Cup final. My dad was actually at that one too in 2011. Him and my uncle were there when Burud scored that wraparound goal 11 seconds in. Just like something like that would be cool to go to. that's like a once in a lifetime experience to do something like that. So, I'm just trying to think. Maybe that OV goal to be there in person when he scored on his back.
Yeah, that'd have been a good one. But I didn't look at games like
I'm trying. Maybe like I'm trying to think.
Like the LaFontaine overtime Washington.
Yeah. Brad May winning it in the cup. Mayday.
We're trying to schmooze the Buffalo fans after the earlier segment.
Right? That franchise is a joke.
A little bit. I feel bad for that franchise.
I do too. It's tough. It's a good pod though. Good episode.
We're back next week. We'll take some time this week. Temperatures are going to hit 50s and 60s here. Snow's going away. I'm going to shine my golf clubs up because you know what? My team's not making the playoffs.
You're gonna join them. We're gonna join each other. But you think Vancouver's making the playoffs, and I think you're bullshit.
I do. I'm ready for the push for the playoffs. As we're gonna be able to say that here in a few more weeks. Check back next week for another great episode of the Debate Hockey Podcast. Check us out on YouTube at Inside Edge Hockey News and Apple Podcasts. We're on there. Rate, review us, subscribe, get on to Manscaped. Get yourself a deal at promo code DEBATE. Great deals, great grooming, all from the Debate Hockey Podcast. We're out of here. See you next week. Get connected. The Debate Hockey Podcast can be found on Twitter at Debate Hockey. Also, make sure you check us out on our Facebook page, the Debate Hockey Podcast. Brad Burud can be found on Twitter at Brad Burud. And co-host Blake Friars can also be found on Twitter at Friars_Blake. If you like what you hear, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. The Debate Hockey Podcast can be found on all major podcast players. And please consider subscribing to the Inside Edge Hockey News on Patreon.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Debate Hockey Podcast with your host, Brad Burud. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit InsideEdgeHockeyNews.com and on Twitter at InsideEdgeHOCKE and Facebook at Inside Edge Hockey News. We'll catch you next time.
This has been a production of Inside Edge Hockey News Radio, copyrighted and distributed by the Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.